doing okay? Well, first of all, I'm gonna explain you what is the PowerPoint, what it does, and how to work with it. Okay, so pay attention. PowerPoint is a presentation program developed by Microsoft. It is included in the standard Office suite along with Microsoft Word and Excel, right? Remember, Microsoft is the program. PowerPoint, Word, and Excel, they're just tools of that program, okay? The software allows users to create anything from basic slideshows to complex presentations. PowerPoint is often used to create businesses, presentations, but can also be used for educational or informal purposes. The presentations are comprised of slides, which may contain text, images, and other media, such as audio clips and movies. Sound effects and animated transitions can also be included to add extra appeal to the presentation, right? However, overusing sound effects and transitions will probably do more to annoy your audience than draw their attention. So the point here is to draw the audience attention so they can focus on what you're explaining or what you're saying or what you are showing in your presentation, right? That's the important thing, okay? Because everybody heard a lot of noises in the streets, in your environment, and you don't want to keep you listening to those noises in your presentation. I know you can make some special effects and noises, okay? Most PowerPoint presentations are created from a template which includes a background, color or image, a standard font, and it shows several slides layouts, right? Changes to a template can be saved to a master slide, which stores the main slides then used in the presentation. When changes are made to the master slide, such as choosing a new background image, the changes are propagated to all the other slides. What's that? It means if you make any change, it's gonna change all the slides. All right. If you change the background color in one, it's gonna change in every one, unless you choose which one to change. Okay, that's why it's moving when you're trying to pass one PowerPoint to another. Okay, when presenting a PowerPoint presentation, the presenter may choose to have the slide changed at present intervals, or may decide to control the flow manually. This can be done using the mouse, keyboard, or remote control. Right? I recommend a remote control when you doing the presentation, because that's make the job easier for you, and that is gonna create like you are a professional and it's not showing that you are nervous in front of people. Otherwise, you have to be moving back and forth, pressing the key to change the presentation slide in the computer, and that's one of the advantages of the remote control. Okay, the flow of a presentation can be further customized by having slides load completely or one bullet at a time. For example, if the presenter has several bullet points on a page, he might have individual points appear when he clicks the mouse. This allows more interactivity with the audience and brings greater focus to each point. Okay, so PowerPoint is a very important tool, and it's a very how can I say, it's one of the ways you can use to call the attention of people, so you can be more professionally in your job, and that'll do a lot of things, a lot of positive things for you in your life. Okay, you're going to overcome a lot of barriers by using PowerPoint, but that all depends on the way you're doing it. Okay, you have to think about how you're going to do it. You have to make sure when you do a PowerPoint slides not to add a lot of writing. Don't put a lot of writing. If you're going to add an image or a video, make sure the image has a little title and maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs related to the picture or image, right? But do not put a lot of writing, because that's gonna get all the audience boring. You know that they're not gonna be reading what you are showing it. Otherwise, why don't you just read a book for them, right? That's what I mean. Okay, so that's one of the main points that I want to explain to you. Okay, so thanks for watching this. This is just a little explanation of what PowerPoint do for you. Okay, so let me stop this, and I'm gonna go ahead and record the tutorial for you. Okay, hold on a minute. Bye.
Today you're going to learn 3 PowerPoint techniques you can apply to your next slide presentation. Your boss, your colleagues, they're going to think you spent hours on this. But that's going to be our secret. Let's jump in. We know we shouldn't be using the traditional bullet points, right? But we still do, because let's be honest, we don't have time to get creative and research other methods. But now we don't have to. This is what you need to do. Insert a text box first. And then, without worrying about formatting, I'm just going to type in the text that I want. So here I'm going to add the agenda for today's topics. Now all I'm going to do, go to the Home tab and click on Convert to Smart Art. So notice that the moment I hover over these, it breaks up my text into fancier type of text. I'm going to go and check out more options here. Under Lists, I'll go with this one and click on OK. So it automatically converted my text to Smart Art. The first thing I'm going to do is to convert this into shapes, because that's going to give me more control over this. Click on the entire object and then use the shortcut key Ctrl-Shift-G. This ungroups the shape. You might have to do it again. So in this case, I have more than one layer of grouping, so I'm going to do Ctrl-Shift-G again to get each individual shape here. Now you can also right mouse click and select Ungroup. You could now give these different colors. I'm just going to go and keep it simple, give them the same shape fill. I'll go with the dark blue here, and I'm going to do the same thing with these objects here. So let's just highlight them. For the shape outline, I'm going to go with that dark blue. I'm going to add numbering to this. So let's go to Insert a text box, position this the way we like, change the font type. And I'm going to make this bigger, position it in the middle. Let's make this gray, copy, paste this 2 times, and just apply it to the other topics. Okay, so now that I have them here, I'm going to group these 3 objects together. Just hold down the Control key, click on them, and then press Ctrl-G to group them. You can also, instead of holding down Control, you can highlight them like this and press Ctrl-G and a 3rd time for this one. I'm going to leave this object separate, and you're going to see why in a second. Now let's move on to our effortless animation. So let's say when I start my PowerPoint presentation, I just want to have this topic in the middle of the slide. I want to blend these in my second slide. What I'm going to do is to duplicate the slide. That's how I want it to look at the end. Here is the effortless transition part. I'm going to make this smaller just so I can move these objects out of view. These I'm going to pull down here. So notice that I'm not deleting them, I'm just moving them out of view. Push this here, put this where I want it to be. And you're going to see why in a second. If I was going to go and present this without any animation, this is how it's going to look. Quite boring, right? One option, of course, is to work with the animations in the animation pane, but this can be quite a pain to work with. And a lot of people just don't have the time to play around with the options here. We're going to make this effortless. Go to Transitions and click on Morph. It just does it for you. So basically, this animation is actually a slide transition. The way it works is that it looks to see where these exact objects were on the slide before it and where did they move in the next slide. And then it tries to fill up the space between them in a super smooth way. So if I go to Presentation View, this looks like something I put a lot of effort to create, but in fact I didn't. I just had to click on the Morph option. The Morph is available in the Office 365 version. What I'm going to do is to duplicate the slide, move this out of view. I'm also going to move these out of view. So basically the way that morph works is that the object that has to travel the furthest is going to leave the slide first. So let's say I want to talk about enhanced morph. So I'm going to bring this here, put this out of view. Because I duplicated this slide, I also brought the morph transition with it. If I go to presentation view, this is how it looks. Really nice without me having to do anything except rearranging the objects here. One point to note is the duration of this. So if you feel that it's too slow, you want it faster, you can change the speed from here. You also have some more effect options. So in this case, I'm just working with objects, so the default option is fine. But if I want to use morph on words, I can do that. And if I want to use morph on single characters, I can do that as well. Okay, so now let's take a look at enhanced morph. Enhanced morph is available in the latest version of Office 365 in the Insider Edition for now, and soon it's going to be available for everyone. So let me show you what it does. I'm going to copy these icons to here, because guess what? The new Office icons are changing. These are the ones that we know, and these are the ones that are coming. Let's position these somehow central. If I wanted to present the new Office icons, I have no animation on this slide right now. Let's go to presentation view. This is how it looks, right? Quite boring. If I just go and say, I want to apply morph to this, let's see. That's the type of animation I get. Nothing really fancy, right? Because morph tries to find it on the next slide. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't move it, right? Because it doesn't know what to do with it. Here's where the new enhanced morph comes in. You can actually morph one object into another object. You just have to follow these steps. Let's bring up the selection pane. Use Alt F10 to bring this up, or you can bring it up by going to the Home tab, going to select right here. What I'm going to do is change the label of this to the identical label of the object on the second slide, and I'm going to add exclamation marks to this. So 2 exclamation marks, and then I'm going to call this Excel. For this one, let's do the same, but call it PowerPoint. And we're going to repeat this on the second slide. So this is going to be PowerPoint. This is going to be Excel. Okay, so they have the same name and they have 2 exclamation marks before them. And we have morph activated. Now what's going to happen? Let's go take a look. It morphs the one object into the second object. So we get this really nice, smooth effect. The way to make it work is the exclamation marks. So if I just call them both Excel and I don't put those exclamation marks, this is not going to work. Let's go try it. You see the PowerPoint one morphs really well and this one doesn't. So you need the 2 exclamation marks, and then you can take advantage of this smooth object transition. And that concludes our 3rd tip. If you want to improve your PowerPoint skills and make...
Take a look at these 3 videos. Which software do you think they were created with? Well, as you've seen it from the title, it's PowerPoint. Many people don't know it, but it's absolutely possible to create beautiful animated videos using PowerPoint. There are YouTube channels with millions of subscribers which create their videos with PowerPoint only. And in fact, most of the videos on my channel are also done this way, if you were wondering. But you can also use PowerPoint to create promotional marketing videos for business, online courses, and more. What's great about PowerPoint is that it's relatively easy to get started with compared to specialized animation software, and the creation speed is faster. For example, it's totally possible to create 1 video from scratch per day. Once again, most of the videos on this channel have been created in 1 day each. So how does it work exactly? Well, it actually looks super easy from the technical point of view. Once you have finished your slides, your animations and the transitions, you click on the Slideshow tab and then on Rehearse Timings. When you do this, the slideshow presentation will start and you can move it forward by clicking on your mouse or using the arrows on your keyboard. And while you will be doing that, the timings between all these actions will be recorded. It means that the times between each animation and each transition will be recorded as you click. Once you arrive at the end, PowerPoint will ask you if you want to save the new slide timings. So you click on Yes, and then you go to File, Export, and Create a Video. Here you have to choose at least the 1080p quality and select the Use Recorded Timings and Narrations. Finally, click on Create Video. PowerPoint will then start generating the final video file, and you can see the progress bar down here. But all what I just said, it's the basic principle, how it works. Obviously, the most important is to create beautiful designs and make such animations and transitions that it all looks like a real video.